Hello everyone, welcome back to my YouTube channel Learning Pharmacy with Dr. Adhika Bhaskar. Please do subscribe my channel and don't forget to press the bell icon. This video is all about the evaluation of tablets. The general appearance and overall elegance of a tablet is essential for consumer acceptance, control of lot-to-lot uniformity, tablet-to-tablet uniformity, and monitoring trouble-free manufacturing. Now for a good appearance and overall elegance of a tablet, we need to evaluate our tablet over certain parameters such as size and shape, unique identification mark, organoleptic properties, hardness and friability, drug content and release, which can be done by two different methods. First one is weight variation, second one is content uniformity, disintegration test, and lastly is the dissolution test. Discussing the first point of evaluation, that is size and shape. Size and shape can be dimensionally described, monitored and controlled. At constant compressive load, tablet thickness varies with change in difill, particle size distribution, packing of the particle mix and the tablet weight. While at constant difill, thickness varies with the variation in compressive loads. Tablet thickness will be consistent only if the tablet granulation or powder blend is adequately consistent in particle size and size distribution, if the punch tooling is of consistent length, and if the tablet press is clean and in good working condition. The crown thickness of individual tablets may be measured with micrometer. Another method is with vernier caliper scale, which is much more rapid process. Now, seeing this equipments for the measurement of thickness, first one is the micrometer. In micrometer, this is an anvil which is a fixed one, and this is a spindle. We keep our tablet between anvil and spindle and measure the thickness of the tablet through this scale. The unit of the tablet thickness will be in micrometer. This is a vernier caliper scale in which these two are the external jaws between which we keep our tablet and measure the thickness through this scale. Unit will be in centimeter. The tablet thickness should be controlled within plus minus 5% variation of the standard value. See, this is a video of a person who is measuring the tablet thickness using the vernier caliper, which is a digital one. Thickness must be controlled to facilitate the packaging. Next is the unique identification markings. This helps the companies in the rapid identification of their products. These markings includes embossing, engraving or printing. The types of information the marking provides usually includes the company name or symbol, a product code provided by a national drug code, number, product name or the product potency. The next property to be evaluated is the organoleptic properties, in which first one is the color. The color of the product must be uniform within a single tablet, from tablet to tablet and from lot to lot. The non-uniformity in color is generally called as mottling. To measure the color uniformity and gloss on the tablet surface, the instruments used are reflectance spectrophotometer, tremulous colorimeter, etc. Next property is the odor. Presence of odor in a batch could indicate the stability problems such as odor of acetic acid in degrading aspirin tablets. However, the presence of an odor could be characteristic of drug, like vitamins have characteristic odor, added ingredients such as flavoring agent, or the dosage form such as film coated tablets. Next is taste. It is important in case of chewable tablets. Other than these three properties, a tablet's level of flaws such as chips, cracks, surface texture, appearance are evaluated by visual inspection techniques. The next test is the hardness and friability. Tablet requires certain amount of strength or hardness and resistance to friability to withstand the mechanical shocks of handling during manufacturing, packaging and shipping. Hardness of the tablet plays significant role in tablet disintegration and the drug dissolution release rate. It is also termed as tablet crushing strength. Now, the various instruments used to test the tablet hardness are, the first one is the Monsanto hardness tester. In this Monsanto hardness tester, the tablet is placed between the anvil and the spindle, and the spindle is moved and pressure is applied on the tablet by means of screw knob. The point where the tablet breaks down, it is recorded by means of the scale. Second one is the Strong Cob hardness tester, the Pfizer hardness tester, the Irveka hardness tester, and the Schlinger hardness tester. The working of these hardness testers are almost same as that of the Monsanto hardness tester. See, this is the anvil, the fixed one, this is the spindle, and we have kept our tablet between the spindle and the anvil and applying the pressure to crush it. The hardness will be seen from the pressure dial. Same is on the is the Pfizer hardness tester. Irveka hardness tester also work on the same principle. It is a digital apparatus, and the Schlinger is also a digital apparatus. See, this is the working of a hardness tester. This we have kept a tablet between the two spindles. These two are coming towards the tablet to crush it. See, the tablet breaks down and the hardness reading will be seen on the digital monitor. The tablet hardness is affected by various factors. First one is the die-fill and compression force relationship. At constant die-fill, the hardness value increases and the thickness decreases as the additional compression force is applied. Increase in compression force causes the tablet to laminate or cap, thus destroying the integrity of the tablet. अब यहाँ पे अगर हमारा डाईफिल कांस्टेंट है और अगर हम उसके ऊपर हार्डनेस इंक्रीज करते जा रहे हैं तो उससे क्या होगा, एक तो हमारी टैबलेट की थिकनेस डिक्रीज हो जाएगी. क्यों? क्योंकि उसके ऊपर हम एडिशनल फोर्स अप्लाई करते जा रहे हैं सो दैट टू इंक्रीज द हार्डनेस ऑफ द टैबलेट. पर अगर हम एक्सेसिव हार्डनेस को इंक्रीज करेंगे तो दिस में लीड टू two different problems. First one is the capping, another one is the lamination. Capping means removal of the upper layer of the tablet, and lamination means the breakdown of the tablet into different layers. Second factor is the lubricants. Lubricants, when are used in too high a concentration or mixed for too long, can affect the hardness of the tablet. Types of punches. A flat beveled tool produces a tablet harder than a deep cup tool. Another measure of a tablet strength is its friability. The friability testers are called as fibrillator. In this, the tablets are exposed to a combined effect of abrasion and shock. The fibrillator consists of a plastic chamber that revolves at 25 rpm, dropping the tablet at a distance of 6 inches with each revolution. The method of operation of fibrillator is a pre-weighed tablet sample is placed in the fibrillator, which is then operated for 100 revolution. The tablets are then dusted and re-weighed. Percentage friability can be calculated by the following formula, in which W1 is the weight of the tablet before testing, W2 is the weight of the tablets after testing. The conventional compressed tablets that lose less than 0.5 to 1% of their weight are considered acceptable. There are various reasons which are responsible for higher friability weight loss. First one is some chewable tablets and most effervescent tablets undergo high friability weight losses. Therefore, special stacked packaging is required for them. Poor conditions of concave and specially deep concave punches used in tableting produces whiskering at the tablet edge. Such tablets have higher than normal friability values. And the last one is very dry granulation tablets that contains only fractional percentages of moisture that often produce more friable tablets than the granulation containing 2 to 4% of moisture. To evaluate the tablets for drug content, to ensure the consistency of dosage unit, each tablet in a batch should have a drug substance content within a narrow range around the label claim. The uniformity of tablets is demonstrated by either of the two methods, content uniformity or weight variation test. When the dose and ratio of drug substance is more than 25 mg or 25%, weight variation test is performed. When this ratio is less than 25 mg or 25%, content uniformity test is carried out. In case of weight variation, as per USP, 20 tablets are weighed individually and then average weight is calculated, comparing the individual tablet weights to the average weight. The tablets meets the USP test if not more than 2 tablets are outside the percentage limit and if no tablet differ by more than 2 times the percentage limit. The percentage weight variation tolerance for uncoated tablets is given in the table below. In this, the maximum percentage difference allowed is compared as per given in USP and as per in the EP. In content uniformity, there are 3 main factors which directly contribute to the problem listed above. First one, non-uniform distribution of the drug substance throughout the granulation or powder mix. Segregation of granulation or powder mixture during manufacturing processes. And lastly, the tablet weight variation. Now the method how we carry out the content uniformity test. First of all, we'll take 30 tablets randomly from the sample and at least 10 of them are assayed individually. 9 out of the 10 tablets must contain not less than 85% or more than 115% of the labeled content. The 10th tablet may contain less than 75% or more than 125% of the labeled content. If these conditions are not met, the tablet remaining from the 30 must be assayed individually and none may fall outside of the 85 to 115% range. The next test in the evaluation of tablet is the disintegration. Breakdown of the tablet into smaller particles or granules is called as disintegration. A USB device is used to test the disintegration of the tablets. The device consists of 6 glass tubes 3 inches long, open at the top and contains a 10 mesh screen at the bottom end of the basket rack assembly. To test for disintegration time, one tablet is placed in each tube and the basket rack is positioned in a 1 liter beaker of water, simulated gastric fluid or simulated intestinal fluid at 37 plus minus 2 degrees Celsius such that the tablets remain 2.5 centimeter movement and descend not closer than 2.5 centimeter from the bottom of the beaker. A standard motor driven device is used to move the basket assembly up and down through a distance of 5 to 6 centimeter at a frequency of 28 to 32 cycles per minute. To be in compliance with USP standard, the tablet must disintegrate and all the particles must pass through the 10 mesh screen in a time specified. If any residue remain, it must have a soft mass with no palpably firm core. The disintegration time for various tablets are: first one, when we are using the uncoated USP tablets, in that case standard disintegration time is as low as 5 minutes, but majority of tablets have a maximum disintegration time of 30 minutes. And when we are doing the disintegration test for enteric coated tablets, it shows no evidence of disintegration after 1 hour in simulated gastric fluid. The same tablets are then tested in simulated intestinal fluid and are to disintegrate in 2 hours plus the time stated in monograph. The last evaluation parameter is the dissolution. Dissolution is a process in which a solid substance solubilizes in a given solvent, that is mass transfer from a solid surface to a liquid phase. Reasons for developing in vitro dissolution test are: the release of the drug from tablet is as close as possible to 100%. The rate of drug release is uniform batch to batch. As per USP, there are 2 apparatus to determine the dissolution rate. The apparatus 1, that is basket, and apparatus 2, which consists of pedal. In apparatus 1, that is basket, it consists of a vessel which is made up of borosilicate glass and is semi-hemispherical at the bottom. It has a capacity of 1000 ml. It consists of a shaft which is made up of stainless steel which rotates smoothly without any significant wobble at the speed of 100 rpm. It has a speed regulator also. See, this is the basket. It is like mesh and made up of stainless steel in which we keep our tablet which is to be dissolved. It has a water bath which is maintained at the temperature of 37 plus minus 0.5 degrees Celsius. This apparatus 1 is useful for the tablets, capsules, delayed release suppositories, floating dosage forms, etc. In dissolution apparatus 2, that is pedal, it consists of a vessel which is made up of borosilicate glass and have a capacity of 1000 ml. It has a fused shaft with a blade at the bottom. It consists of a steering element which is made up of stainless steel and have a rotational speed of 25 to 50 rpm which can be increased up to 75 rpm. The water bath is maintained at the temperature of 37 plus minus 0.5 degrees Celsius. It may consist of sinkers, which is actually a platinum wire used to prevent the tablet or the capsule from floating. The dosage form which are used in this apparatus should remain at the bottom center of the vessel. This apparatus is useful for orally disintegrating tablets, chewable tablets, etc. With this, we are end with our topic of discussion. Please do subscribe my channel and don't forget to share the videos. Thank you.